In football, sometimes just having Inho at the end of your name is enough to land you in a mid-table Premier League team. But if you come from a country most people can even point to on a map, making it to top clubs and actually standing out is a real achievement. So today, I'm going to go through some of those players that defied all odds and became the biggest symbols of their countries. So let's start with some honesty. I probably couldn't even find this country on a map myself, Burkina Faso. But this isn't about how bad my geography is, it's about how one of the best defenders in the Bundesliga came from there, Edmond Tapsoba. From the streets of Burkina Faso to the heart of the German champions backline, his journey began at Vitória de Guimarães in Portugal before making the leap to Bayer Leverkusen. That's where he truly broke through, becoming a key player and part of the squad that won the league and nearly blew the stadium up in 2024. And while his career took off in Europe, he never let go of his national team shirt. Burkina Faso, a team that's never been to a World Cup and currently sits outside the top 60 in the FIFA rankings, is now second in their 2026 qualifying group, sitting in the playoff spot. With more spots than ever, this might just be their best shot yet at making history. Another similar story from Africa is that of Mozambique. This isn't exactly a country known for producing football stars, and you rarely hear their name during the World Cup qualifiers, but that didn't stop Ronaldo Mandava from rising through the ranks. A left-back who started out at Ferroviário da Beira, he made a quiet move to Portugal, but it was at Lille where he truly broke out, playing a crucial role in their shocking 2021 league first title run, when they snatched the trophy right from PSG's hands. Atletico Madrid picked him up soon after, and he fit perfectly into Simeone's system. He was never a guaranteed starter, but he held his own, and now, in the 2024-25 season, he's wrapping up his time there before moving to newly promoted Sunderland in the Premier League. For a country that sits near 100th in the FIFA rankings, Ronaldo's journey has been nothing short of remarkable. But before Mozambique could even dream of having a player at the top level in Europe, there were already national teams earning a spot in football's collective memory, not just for how they played, but for how unforgettable they looked. In the 90s, while everyone had their eyes in Brazil and Germany, suddenly the world got distracted by a team that showed up with every player bleaching their hair blonde. That was Romania. Led by Gheorghe Hagi, his career kicked off during a dictatorship when leaving the country wasn't really an option. Still, he made a name for himself at Steaua Bucharest, dominated the local league, and eventually played for Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Galatasaray. His biggest moments came with the Romanian national team, and countries like Colombia definitely remember him fondly after he knocked them out of 2 different World Cups. He even scored the goal that ended Argentina's run in '94. And sure, I know Maradona wasn't there, but hey, that's not Hagi's fault. And not too far from Romania, another Balkan nation also had its golden moment back in the 90s. For younger fans, the name Bulgaria might not ring many bells, and honestly, it makes sense. They haven't qualified for a Euro or World Cup in the past 2 decades, and have been slipping further down the FIFA rankings. But for those who remember better days, there is comfort in thinking back to that legendary team from USA '94, led by one man, Risto Stoichkov. He made his name at CSKA Sofia, but it was at Johan Cruyff's Barcelona where he truly exploded, winning trophies and even grabbing a Ballon d'Or in 1994. That same year, Bulgaria shocked the world. Sure, they knocked out Mexico in the round of 16, which, let's be honest, isn't that hard, but then came the real upset, eliminating defending champions Germany in the quarterfinals. They eventually fell to Italy and then to Sweden, where Stoichkov ended as joint top scorer with Russia's Oleg Salenko. That tournament put Bulgaria on the map, at least for a while. Of course, not every Eastern European country had the same luck. While some were riding high in the summer of '94, others were still trying to find their identity. Take North Macedonia, for example, a country that emerged from the breakup of Yugoslavia, but unlike Croatia, they've never made it to the World Cup. Their closest shot came during qualifiers for Qatar 2022, when they actually knocked out Italy, yes, that Italy, only to fall in the next round to Portugal. But despite the heartbreak, one name still shines signs for Macedonia football. Goran Pandev, discovered by Inter Milan after starting in the local leagues, Pandev made a name for himself in Serie A, playing for clubs like Lazio, Napoli, Genoa, and of course, being part of Mourinho's legendary treble-winning Inter squad in 2010. On the international stage, his career wasn't quite as decorated, but it was historic. In 2020, well past the age most players retire, Pandev captained North Macedonia to their first ever major tournament, Euro 2021. It may not have ended in glory, but for a nation of their size, just making it was a massive win. Funny enough, around that same time, another small Eastern European country was having its own breakout moment, Georgia. And no, not the US state, had never done much on the international stage. Their highest ever FIFA ranking was 68th, which, let's be honest, pretty much tells you that they've never been to a World Cup, and most people wouldn't know how to spell their players' names, let alone pronounce them. So give me a break, because I know I'm butchering every single name in this list. But then came Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Well, let him say it properly.
Kvaratskhelia.
Before becoming a star, he was grinding out quietly in the leagues like Russian Premier and the local Georgian League. That was until Napoli took a gamble, and what a bet it was. He became Serie A MVP, led Napoli to a historic league title, and with the national team, he didn't go unnoticed either. Georgia qualified for their first Euro in 2024, and not only that, they made it out to the group stage. Oh, and they beat Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal along the way, with Kvaratskhelia opening the scoring. Today he's doing a great job at PSG, and was a key part of the squad that crushed Inter Milan to win their first Champions League. Now, speaking of players who put their country on the football map, let's talk about Emmanuel Adebayor. Born in Togo, a country that before Adebayor most fans couldn't find on the map, he made his way up from Metz to Monaco and then exploded at Arsenal. Goals, drama, hat-tricks, and who could forget his greatest achievement? Celebrating a goal right in front of the Arsenal fans after leaving the club. Okay, maybe not his greatest, but definitely one of the funniest. He also played for Spurs, Real Madrid, and even had a spell in Paraguay with Olimpia, but his true legacy was taking Togo to their first and only World Cup in 2006, becoming their all-time top scorer, and showing that even the most unlikely nations can make history when the right talent comes along. And if the achievements of previous players were massive, then winning the Ballon d'Or while coming from the lowest ranked country we've talked about today probably tops them all. Oh, and not just a Ballon d'Or winner, he also became president of his country. Yep, I'm talking about the legendary George Weah. Born in Liberia, a country facing more poverty than places like Haiti, Togo, or Angola, George defied the odds and even his parents' wishes to chase a football career. He started out in Liberia, lit it up with PSG, and then moved to Cameroon before being signed for Monaco in 1988. In France, he lit it up with PSG, winning league titles, domestic cups, and becoming the top scorer in the Champions League. Then came AC Milan, where he won 2 Serie A titles and became the only African player in history to win the Ballon d'Or. He also had spells at Chelsea, City, Marseille, and finished his career in the UAE. With the Liberian national team, he was everything: top scorer, captain, and even the sponsor. They never reached a World Cup, but in 2002, they were just 1 point away. And well, being your country's football goat apparently wasn't enough, so he also became president of Liberia in 2022. Yeah, I tried to mix some modern names with legends from the past, but I obviously left out a few. Drop in the comments which ones you think I missed, and as always, thanks for watching, peace.